Hey dude. Hello. Oh fuck. Why do I have the auto level on? Okay. Okay, so I just had an epiphany that I've been trying to kind of figure out, just keep kind of motoring on ahead, but getting stuck. Just getting stuck. Trying to kind of figure out why I'm getting stuck, what am I doing wrong? Um anyway, to cut a long story short, the thing that I'm doing wrong is that I'm not looking at what you're doing. you know. Um I don't know why. I don't know why. It's a good question. But I'm going to look at it now. So this is what I'm going to do with this video. I'm just going to talk through what you've done. And the funny thing is about these videos is that I make them in order to help me kind of get through things. It's like talk myself through it. I can see if what I'm saying makes sense more clearly, when I say it out loud for some reason. Okay, anyway, I'm going to start with your TrackMesher.cs. I'm just going to see if I can understand what it's doing. Yeah. Okay, let's start. Okay, first we've got a whole bunch of includes. Using Unity Engine. Okay, so the only reason you've got that is because you need the mode behavior class, from what I understand. System.io, system.text, system.collection, system.collections.generic. By the way, I think you can do, from what I can tell, you can actually do a for each on an array in C#, which is pretty cool, because I think arrays are much faster than the actual arrays type that you used before. Require component type of mesh filter. Yeah, fuck, I must stop. I've got to stop commenting on everything. I've got to stop trying to correct everything. Yeah. Before I start trying to correct everything, I need to try to understand first, right? Okay. This line that you see here, I actually added it. Just so you know, the reason I added it is so that the script doesn't appear in the components drop down. Okay. Okay, so this TrackMesher, as I understand it, is it's what it does. It generates the mesh for the entire track. The first thing you do, okay, well, firstly you've got these member variables. You've got a mesh, the source mesh size, and the source mesh scale. Okay, I know what the mesh is. The mesh is where all of the vertices are going to end up. The source mesh is see, that's confusing. Why is there a source mesh? Oh, okay, because the TrackMesher has what does the TrackMesher have? Yeah, the TrackMesher has like a enumerator here. Source mesh style, minimum polys, asphalt with lights, and then total enums. Okay, so the enum starts at 0. That's why total, if it's at the end, always adds up to the number inside of this enum, right? And then what you say is source mesh style equals source mesh style dot minimum polys. Okay, that's confusing. Then you got a list of meshes, source meshes. Then you got a list of vector 3 source mesh sizes and source mesh scales. And then you set up. Okay, so these arrays are the size of hey, fuck, I can draw on the screen. La la la, look at that. Wow, this is such a cool tool. How do I move it? Tool, freehand, highlight. It's very cool, isn't it? Oh, fuck, this tool is great. What's this button do? Oh. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense to me. So you're creating a list of, basically you've got this a source mesh, right? But a source mesh is actually made up of three things: a mesh, a size, and a scale, right? I don't understand what the size and the scale do. You know, if you're listening to this, I mean, clearly, you know, so far you've listened to everything I sent you. Like, maybe you want to write down. Maybe I should write it down. Okay. Questions for Ed. Here we go. Okay. Question 1. What is the difference between source mesh size and scale? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to put this on the desktop. Questions for Ed. By the way, you can actually inside of Bitbucket, you can actually go in and comment on each commit, and you can actually go through each line in the commits, like all the different line differences, and write comments down, which I thought would be a very cool collaborative tool. Yep. Okay, so here's another question for you. Why is there a source mesh size scale, and then also a list of source mesh size and scales? See, my understanding of the TrackMesher would be that you would pass it something. Let's see. So let's see. Okay, when this thing wakes up, you go to init source meshes. Okay, it loops through all the enums. If the style is okay, then it sets the game object name. Then it finds the game object. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, so you're looping through the number of source mesh types, which is what you're calling a style, right? And then you're setting them. So you're building up this array of source mesh, source size, source scale. Okay, and then the actual size is equal to the bounds. Oh, okay. Well, that I have to look up. I'm assuming it's something clever. Okay, cool, dude. I'm sorry I didn't do this before. You know, I don't know. I just didn't realize that that's really important for me to go through everything that you've done and make sure I understand all of it. I don't know why. I just went off my own tangent. I don't know why. Okay, set track type. Okay, why do we have a set track type? I don't know actually. Why do we have a set track type? Total slabs and mesh. Total slabs and mesh. What's that mean? Something I did. Sounds like some word I would use. Okay, let's just skip over this for a moment. Okay. So when you wake up, init source meshes. So it builds. Okay, so when you wake up, it builds up these three arrays, right? All the data you need for all the source meshes. Okay, then what it does is it says init mesh, and I'm assuming that init mesh. Okay, this is code that I actually wrote. Mesh filter equals get component mesh filter. If it's null, throw an error. Get the shared mesh out. That's something I still have to clarify for myself. If you want to maybe just mention it to me if you know it, but I'm not going to ask you directly, like why it is that you got. Actually, we did talk about it, and you know, you didn't seem that sure about it either. If you do figure it out, please let me know. Like, can you edit this directly? Why do you get the shared mesh out? I mean, I know there's a good. They say there's a good reason, but I just don't get it. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I can tell here is that when this thing wakes up, it inits all this data and creates this mesh, but it's just an empty mesh, right? And then yeah, and that empty mesh is just pointing to the shared mesh and the mesh filter. Yeah, and if there's nothing inside the mesh filter, it will create something and put it in there. Okay, but it doesn't actually render anything, right? There was a regenerate all here that's been commented out. I'm not sure if I commented it out or maybe you did, but I'm assuming that regenerate all is where everything happens. Okay, mesh.clear, that's a built-in function. Recalculate total slabs. Okay, let's go to that. Recalculate total slabs. Float total arc length equals track points dot tp hermite array dot get total arc length for range. Track points range dot start get total arc length for range. Okay, track points dot tp hermite. Okay, that I understand. So the list of the set of the track points object. What is the track points object? There's no track points object in this thing. Track points. The fucking track points object. Track points. There it is. Ah, okay, it's sitting, it's hiding over here. So there's a track points object and there's a setter for it as well. So you can, from the outside, tell this object that there's a track points thing there. Okay. You know, I mean, it's just a good point. I mean, you know, you know, a thought popped into my head just now, and I was gonna say, Ed, can you see how terrible this is? Look at this. You know, now this object is referencing this outside object. You know, it's a funny thing. Like, you know, I would have said it and genuinely believed that I was doing it, you know, because I want to help you. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's a funny thing. Like, I'm convinced by it. I was convinced by it. And now I just feel like, Jesus, saying something like that is like such a dick thing to say. It's like you don't even understand how this all works, and you're already like jumping ahead and chewing it up and talking about everything that's wrong with it. You know? I mean, how fucking shitty is that? Jesus. I'm really sorry if I did that, dude. I really am. Okay, where are we? Okay. I kind of feel ridiculous that I made this video of me talking about this stuff, and I'm now like asking you to watch it. I mean, I just feel like, am I being a total asshole? Am I like, you know, I should probably just learn this fucking code, and then, you know, and then, I don't know, and then, I don't know. But I mean, I do need you to know where I'm at. I do need you to know what I get and what I don't. Anyway, I want you to see that I'm actually, you know, studying your shit now. I'm going to start studying your shit. Like, whatever you do, I'm going to study it until I fucking understand it, you know, hands down. I won't just make, you know, sweeping remarks. You know, because it's hilarious. Like, most of the stuff that I'm trying to work out now on my own, most of it, you've already fucking done it. You know, I mean, you've actually already done all of it. Like, I just, you know, just came in and was like, oh, this is all wrong. I mean, and it's not like the stuff that I was saying was incorrect or wasn't like valuable. It's just that I totally neglected all of the value that you had produced. You know? So, anyway. And part of the reason why I struggled, and part of the reason why, you know, yeah, part of the reason why was because I was having such a hard time understanding what you were doing. You know, I mean, this video is kind of a testament to that. And I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm just saying that it's hard for me to understand. and it's not something that bothers me. I'm not complaining. What am I saying? I'm saying, yeah, I need help. That's what I'm saying. I need help in understanding this stuff. I need you to kind of take me through it. I need you to listen to me and say, okay, this is what I understand and this is what I don't understand. Is what I'm understanding right? And please explain the things I don't understand to me. So it's my failing for not actually saying that to you. It's confession week for Carl. Okay, Mr. Wu. Okay, where are we? Okay, recalculate total slabs. I'm surprised you use the word slabs. Okay. Okay, track points dot get TP Hermite array. TP Hermite array. Dot get total arc length for range. Get total arc length for range. Total track points range start. Track points range start. That's like a fuck. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, they set to fixed numbers. Track points range start equals 0. Track points range start equals 0. Set track points range start and end, and then you clamp the start. 0, track points at get point 1, 2, track points range. Track points range. What the fuck? Track points range. Okay, so you got a track points. I'm assuming. Okay, obviously you got a bunch of track points, and your range is from one of the track points to another one of the track points. Okay. Recalculate total slabs. Okay. So your total arc length is between this range. Okay, I don't know what you're doing with the range. But I understand that it's like this point from here to here. Yeah, okay, so you've got like a section of the path, and that section is defined by the indices of the track points, right? The start and end track points. And now you want to work out what the total arc length is, and you get it from this get total arc length for range. And then you say total slabs in mesh. Okay, so what you're doing is you're calculating some global value called total slabs in mesh. Okay, so that bad boy is. Here we go. Total slabs in mesh equals 1. Total slabs in mesh, what the fuck? Okay. Total slabs in mesh equals cost to an int. The total arc length divided by the mesh source mesh size.z times by source mesh scale.z. Jesus Christ. Okay, I gotta tell you, I have no idea what that means. Total arc length. Okay, source mesh size.z. Okay, z. Okay, total slabs in mesh. Oh, it sounds like what you're doing is you're just meshing. You're just meshing a section, right? So this, track points range start and track points range end are like where you're going to start and end. Creating a mesh. Creating the entire mesh, right? So your TrackMesher meshes the entire track, but you have these variables that control where on the path you are going to create this mesh. So if the path has 10 points, right, you could say from point 2 to point 5, those are the only ones that I want to mesh. And then what you're doing here is you're calculating how many total slabs you're gonna mesh. And oh, okay, so that's why you have the source mesh size. Is that it's just the global one, source mesh size. What the fuck do you set that to? Here we go. Set source mesh style. Okay, so you set it to a style. Okay, and it sets these variables to that bad boy. Okay, so this total slabs in mesh is you calculating how many copies of the source mesh that you're going to project. That's a new kind of word that I came up with recently. It's a good one, eh? So that's kind of what we're doing, projecting like an image, a mesh, like the bat signal. You know, we literally are projecting an image of the mesh onto the path, right? And then doing it again and again. You know, so your total slabs in mesh gets changed depending on when does this thing get called. Jeez, man, I am such an asshole. Fuck. Okay, I understand now. So, okay, so you set. Okay. So what happens if you want to mesh something with your TrackMesher is you go and you set the track points range start and end, right? You set the track points. You set the source mesh style that you want to set. And then you literally just run. Oh, and then you set track type physics or not. You don't have to init the mesh that happens at the beginning. You don't have to init source meshes that happens at the beginning, right? But then you just run regenerate all, and it will generate that for you. Okay, I'm starting to understand. Okay, I get it. Okay, so yeah, you've got a fucking mesher. Nice, dude. So sorry I didn't see this before. Okay. Okay. So these guys are okay. Well, this guy, there's only one of these, right? But these are which one you're pointing to right now. You know. So okay. So okay. Jeez, life's fucked. Okay, regenerate verts, triangles, UVs. Brilliant. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, I get it. Okay. So, okay, recalculate the total slabs. I don't know why you need that. Okay, let's see what regenerate verts does. Okay, so regenerate verts. Okay, so it vector 3 vertices equals new vector 3. The source mesh dot vertex count. Okay, so that source mesh object is the one in the array that's being pointed to right now. Right? Vertex count new times total slabs in mesh. Okay, I see. I don't see how this is going to work though. I don't understand how you can calculate it with just the arc length. I mean, what happens if the start and end points, what happens if the arc length is smaller than the actual, what happens if the arc length is smaller than the actual mesh? Right? I mean, that's why you have to cast this to an int. So you don't actually know if it's going to be an int. Like, it won't be a whole number. Like, if it's smaller, then I don't understand why you're squaring this number. And why do you say source mesh size.z? And why z? You know? I don't understand what the size and scale are doing. Let's check it out. I'm such a fucking asshole. Okay. So the size is set to the bounds. I'm really gonna look that up. It's a mesh.bounds. Okay, let's try to look. Mesh bounds. Mesh.bounds. I don't know if I should be sending you this video. Me being a dick. Me realizing how much of a dick I am. Okay, mesh.bounds, the bounding volume of the mesh. Okay, bounds. This is the axis-aligned bounding box of the mesh in its local space that is not affected by the transform. Nice, fucking hell, it's so useful. Okay, I'm assuming bounds has like X and Y. Represents the axis-aligned bounding box, or AABB for short, is a box aligned with coordinate axes and fully enclosing some object. Because the box is never rotated with respect to the axes, it can be defined by just its center and its extendants. Huh. Not extendant, extents. Center min. The minimal point of this is always equal to center minus extents. What the fuck? The total size of the box, twice the size of the extents. Okay. Size.x, size.y, size.z. Okay, let's go back to what you've done. Max. What the fuck? Oh, okay, it's a size object. So vector 3 size. Okay. Max minus min. What the fuck? I don't understand the max minus min thing. Okay, and then it's the local scale. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's why you multiply by the scale. Okay, so you multiply by the scale. So the z. Okay, so you've defined z as the path, the axis that the path goes through. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I'm still not clear on this. I'm gonna write this down. 2. Isn't. What happens when the total arc length is less than total slabs in mesh? Oh. Okay. Next. Okay. You get the vertex count of the source mesh, you multiply it by the number of slabs, then you loop through all of them, and then for each one you say get Hermite transformed mesh vertex. Oh, that's pretty cool, dude. Okay, then pass in the vertex, the vertex index. It's not a vertex, it's a vertex. What's the difference? Vertex is a point in 3 space. Fuck, I don't know actually. Is vertex the plural of vertex? Vertices? Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Okay. Current count is the vertex index divided by the mesh count. Is okay, vertex count times total slabs in mesh vertices. What's this? It's gonna be 0, 1, 2, 3. The only time it's gonna hit 1 is when this guy is equal to this guy, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Current slab count. Nice. Okay, then the source mesh vert index is equal to this index. What the fuck? Jesus, dude. It's fucking magic. Okay, you mod to get the number of points past that you've gotten. Okay. Where all the magic happens, for sure. Okay, then you get the vector 3 source mesh vert, and then you get the vert from the source mesh. Okay, so you loop. Okay, you create this vertice thing. You loop through every single one, then you get out the source mesh vertex here by doing some kind of funky maths with this index, and okay, in this source mesh, okay, this is the global that's set based on what you select. Z is assumed to be the direction of travel down the road. Okay. Okay, so float arc length equals current slab count times source mesh size and scale. I get that now. Source mesh vert.z times source mesh scale.z. Okay. I'm spazzing out now. Arc length, arc length, arc length, arc length, arc length. Okay, source mesh size times the slab count. Okay. Okay, plus source mesh vert.z times source mesh scale.z. You just create a source mesh vert, the source mesh scale. Whew, okay. Okay, I understand. This is how far along you are. Oh, Jesus. I mean, yeah. I mean, the funny thing about looking at your code is how intimate an understanding of all the stuff that you have. You know, I got to be honest with you. I had no idea. I had no idea that you understood everything that's going on to such a degree. Yeah. I mean, make what you will of that. I mean, maybe I'm just a total dick who doesn't ask or listen, or is just very arrogant. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. I should know. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. So we got how far along we are for this vertex. Fuck. I figure out what the difference is between those words. Okay. Then we get Hermite curve vertex equals get position from arc length, and then we get the rotation vector from arc length, and then the width from the arc length. Nice. Very clean code as well, by the way. Very clean, very direct. Start with the vertex on the Hermite curve. Okay. Return vertex is equal to that vertex. Add the right component. I didn't know you could do this with a vector 3. Hermite curve rod times vector 3. Right. You know, the funny thing is that I remember every time I'd send you something, you know, you'd reply saying, "Yeah, dude, totally." You know, oh, you discovered that. Well done. You know, like, you know, and like I didn't know how to respond. But I was like a little bit like insulted. I was like, what? How come every time I send you something, you tell me that you've seen it already? I felt like you were being very defensive. And then I kind of did this thing where I was like building up all these Unity objects and like, you know, and what I was doing, or what like I really did think about it, and I really tried really hard to kind of do it. And then you were like, yeah, that's totally true, yeah. And you like suddenly didn't know what to. My impression is that you didn't know what to do, because all the stuff that you've done is very legitimate, and all of a sudden I come up with all this legitimate stuff. What the fuck do we do now? You know, and you, the only one who knows both. Me, I'm just there sitting like thinking. At the time, I have to admit, I felt like I was the only one. I was responsible for everything. You know, that you were freaking out because you couldn't kind of match what I was doing. You know, Jesus, and yeah. Now I understand. Now I understand. It's like, no, I mean, you'd done all this stuff, and I would just said, okay, well, let's try and do this now. Yeah, we have. Well, I don't actually know why. Something wrong with me. Something wrong with my brain. I need to smoke. I need to, you know, get high and think about this. Almost finished. Almost through TrackMesher. Okay, so this is very cool. I didn't know you could just add these things together. Yeah? So, I mean, so it's all this vector 3.right. So all of these things are just scalars. Okay, so you've got the rotation times right times vertex x times the Hermite curve road width times mesh scale.x. Fucking hell. Oof, dude, nice. God, man, I can't believe how much work you've done. It's unbelievable. I mean, where did you come up with all this stuff? Jeez, Ed. Thank you. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for, yeah, I feel totally inspired. Uh, you're really pushing me, and I appreciate it. Return vert equals plus equals Hermite curve vert times vector 3 right. Hermite curve rotation is a quarter neon, so you're multiplying a quarter neon by vector 3 right. What the fuck? Oh, okay, vector 3 right is like a constant, it's just like 0, 1, 0. Okay, I don't know what that means. Fuck. Add the right component of the source mesh, projected right from the vertex on the Hermite curve. Projected right from the vertex on the Hermite curve. Projected right. Jesus Christ. Vertex up, you add the up component, same. But the difference is that here you don't multiply it by the road width. Why are we multiplying it by the road width? It's confusing. What's the road width got to do with it? Well, you get this road width from arc length, but who cares? It's just a mesh. I understand the road width. So I guess I'm gonna have to go through these Hermite things, this TP Hermite array stuff. Anyway, the only last two things is the triangles, the UV, and the adapter console. I'm gonna have to go through this TP Hermite array more carefully. What now? Okay, triangles. Create an array of triangles, source mesh dot triangles dot length times total slabs and mesh. Okay. Loop through all of those bad boys. Get the kind of slab count and the source mesh triangle index. Okay, I see what you did there. Nice, really nice clean code. Triangles mesh tri index equals source mesh dot triangles plus current slang times source mesh dot vertex. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, source mesh dot triangles. Okay, right? Triangles. Oh, triangles. Triangles. Okay, triangles is a list of ints. Oh, nice. Jesus, man, this is really blowing my mind. Source mesh tri-index. Okay, so you're gonna get one triangle out. Yeah. It's very confusing. You get this triangle out of this guy. Oh, and then you add this, which is like the index beyond. Okay, so all a triangle is an index to a vertex. You're adding. Okay. Jesus, I think I've hit my mental limit. I'm starting to spaz out a bit. I'm gonna have to go through this more carefully. Yeah. So yeah. I'm not like this really bossy guy. Is that kind of person I am? I'm just like a total control freak. I don't give anyone an inch. Anyway, okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through this entire project with a fine-tooth comb. I'm gonna go through it over and over and over again until I understand it precisely. Then I'm gonna draw it out and just somehow diagrammatize everything and how everything ties together. And then I'm going to report back to you and say, hey, this is what it's doing right now. Basically what I'm going to be doing is saying, this is what you've done. Look, this is what you've done. And then and then I'll ask you if you agree with me and agree with my assessment, because obviously whatever I do to represent what you've done, to communicate to you that I understand what you've done. Obviously, there's going to be some kind of a compressed form of it, because otherwise I'll just have to throw 500 pages of code at you. I don't know if it's 500, maybe with double spacing. Yeah, I think that would be a good place to be at, right? In terms of the project, where I understand what you've done. Okay. And then, only then can we start talking about what do I want to do next. Do I think it's a good idea? I mean, that's what's so bizarre, is that I've like pushed all these ideas onto you. It's such a bizarre relationship. It's like I'm just spewing ideas, you're doing everything. It's a bizarre thing. Like, the guy who's doing it, the guy who knows what's going on is the guy who's actually doing it, right? Yet the person who's trying to drive the ship is like, is has no idea. The person has no idea what they're talking about. And that's why, to be fair to myself, it's like that's why I sat down and started trying to actually do this stuff, and it's fucking ridiculously hard. And like, I thought like I just had the best way of doing it. So, and that remains to be seen. The approach that I've described is different to what you've done here, but to be honest, like I still don't see what you've done clearly enough for me to even have like an honest opinion on whether or not we should be kind of pulling it all into Unity using objects from the front end. I just got kind of so focused on like this idea. Like I think it's sincere. I think that my initial drive was very sincere, but the fact that I wasn't actually paying attention, or I wasn't paying attention to what you were doing. Didn't focus on, but just it's as simple as it is. The fact that I wasn't paying attention, to you was toxic. Very toxic. Okay, I'm gonna watch 30 Rock, get high, and then afterwards maybe I'll keep going, but if I'm tired I'll do the rest of it tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have some diagrams, and I'll have like drawn out everything, and hopefully we'll finally be on the same page. Cool. Ed, I'm sorry for putting you through all this stuff. I'm a work in progress. Hope you're still keen to do this stuff. I think if I could just if we stay connected with each other and don't lose one another, I think that we can make some really cool shit together. Cool. Okay, speak to you soon, dude.